Hi everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, Touch of Magic. Today I am doing a card set. I had a request from some of my residents where I work. I work at a retirement home full-time for some card sets for Christmas in kind of traditional colors. And then some that are not so traditional. So we're going to do a little bit of a mix. I'm also doing this for my hop on Instagram called Themed Fridays. But anyway, my idea is I've done one set already. Let me just walk through that one. So using some, and if you're an old school scrapbooker, you might recognize these things here. I've been a creative memories consultant since October of 2000. And back in the day, these are what we used to teach those very first classes, are the strips and triangles, to which I still have a vast amount. And that is probably an understatement. So many. So I'm thinking, let's use the things we have, dig into our stash. How can we combine older product with newer things? And that's what I want to do today. So I did some of these just using the strips as is, spacing them right on the card front. I didn't use a panel. And then I have this cute paper from Your Next Stamp, sadly a Canadian company that is no longer active, but I still have this cute paper pad. And again, I want to use up what I have, but you know, you can find new things. If I see anything really cute, I can tag it for new product if you don't have anything in the description, or you can dig into your stash and find stuff you maybe haven't used yet because you know you have it. So this is the first design I came up with, something very simple. And then this is the other one, using a combination of the patterns and a simple card. And then this one a little brighter, a little more fun, mixing up the patterns. So what I'm going to do is walk through, I think, a new idea for these ones. I don't want all the sets to be the same, but I'm still going to use these products. So I'm going to do a little cutting and I will come back and we'll walk through all of that. All right, here's an idea. I've got the measurements here. So the solid color is 1.5 inches by 5.25 inches, and I've cut 2 of those. Then I have the patterned paper, which is 1.25 inches by 5 inches, and I have 2 of those. I've used the flag and the flag layer out of the Gina K Master Layouts 4. That's where I am so far. I think I'm kind of liking it. It's really simple, but that's what I'm aiming for, is something that is not hard to replicate. If you want to make gift sets, which is what I'm doing here, is just little sets of cards where it's using up what you have, making it kind of fun and funky, a little more white space than I'm used to. And I did consider, because the complementary here, I looked on my color wheel, would be to add the blue underneath. And it certainly works. All these colors tie together because they are from the same set, which is nice when you're using an entire pad of paper, is that everything is going to coordinate for the most part. It's how they design them. You can see all those colors are tied in here in this pattern, where it's got the green, the red, the blue, and the yellow. So it's got all of those tied in, which is why I pulled all the colors that I did, thinking I could tie it all in. So I think this is where I am leaning towards right now. I've got the 2 flags cut. I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this one, and I want to offset them so you can see the patterns here because it's the festive part. And I think that's where that's going to go. So I'm going to do several like this, and now I'm going to work on a separate layout, try a different one. I like to do kind of 3 and 3 so they're not all the same. So we're work on number 2, come back and walk through it. Hang tight. All right, here we go for design number 2. So I've taken a couple of these rectangles. Now these are pre-cut, but if you wanted to make your own, you just need a square of whatever size makes sense. Let me see if I can do a quick figure out on this one. So we are looking at approximately a 4x4 square. So you can cut any of your paper that you like, 4x4, cut it on the diagonal, and it'll give you those nice size corner pieces. This is on an A2 panel. This is a top fold. And then what I reached for is the Master Layouts 2 for those interior rectangles. Now, again, you can just cut these yourself. So the rectangles are 2 sizes. The first one is the smaller, which is the one that's actually got the stitching design, which I've used. And this one is a 2.25 by 4, if you just want to cut it yourself. And then the outer layer is a 2.375 by 4.125. And you know, you can just figure those out. It doesn't have to be those exact sizes. You just need a nice little matting layer. I tend to go about 1/8 of an inch bigger, so it gives me a 1/16 around the edges, which will be like that. Now, what I was deciding here is, do I like it completely matted and you don't really see that polka dot paper, so then it centers on here, or do I like it a little offset so you're getting both the patterns? And I'm kind of leaning towards that. So I think that's where I'm going with this design. So you're getting both of those patterns. We're tying in the red, the green, and the gold, which I really like together. Now, the next thing I was deciding is if I was going to pull in the solid yellow for a Merry Christmas. I thought about matting it, but I didn't find a sentiment I liked that fit to matte. So I went with the larger size. So I could go yellow here with it. It's that gold color, which is nice. Or do I want to tie in the white of the card base with the green, which I think I kind of like. Do I like the tie-in or do I like the yellow? The other thing, maybe, I don't know, could do a couple of them and you wouldn't necessarily, now I would do it with, let me flip. Okay, we're crafting on the fly. You know how it is on this channel. We just wing it as we go. So we could do a couple of those and offset them. I know, I don't think I like that at all. Okay, if you have an opinion on this, now it'll be too late by the time you see it because these will be done, but I would love to know your input. So feel free to leave a comment on which version you like here, whether you liked it just the white or whether you like the gold, or whether I should have found something to matte these. They're not a perfect matte, but they do work. These are also out of the Master Layouts 4 for Gina, which could have done that. But I kind of, now that I've done this a couple of times, I think I'm liking that gold on there. Maybe the white is too stark. Yeah, I think I like the gold. So I think that's where I'm going, is I'm just going to tie those colors in. Okay, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to stick them down. That'll only take a minute. And I'll show you something that I recently started using and I hadn't before. It'd been sitting in my craft room for a bit. Is I have the Sweet Petunia glue press. I have to tell you, this thing is a dream on my hands. And it makes this very, very simple. I have a feeling my camera might be a little tight here today. So I'm just gonna try and matte kind of up into the corner there, and then I'm gonna do the same down on this end here. But this is, if you haven't tried this yet, it comes with a bottle of the Nuvo, but it also comes with an empty one, so you can refill with whatever your favorite liquid glue is. I use a lot of liquid glue. I find it, I like that little extra wiggle time that it gives me. Yeah, I think I'm still liking that. Now, because I'm trying to keep these very simple, I'm not popping things up. I'm not adding a lot of extra embellishments. Keeping it really, really simple. I do want my T-square. Okay, T-square. And more or less center, about there. And I always try and tell myself perfection is not required, but it's nice if I can swing it. That is about right. Okay, I suppose I could have done black, but I don't have anything else black on here. I did do the sentiment black anyway because I like that, it stands out. And here is the first one. I'm just going to walk through that one again. Now here's the measurements for that one, if you need to take a screenshot. Now with this one, I used the Master Layouts 4 for the tags. And then I used this little Joy to the World set to go on here, including a couple of the leaves, which I did in the Simon Says Stamp Fairway Positively Saturated ink, and then the VersaFine Clair for the sentiment. It's so crisp. So I tied all that in. Very simple, but really cute. And I think you can make out that that's little reindeer on the pattern. And then with this one, I've used the Master Layouts 2, utilizing the inner squares, which are these two, and then also the largest of the sentiments, which is that one. So for the sentiment on this one, I went with this set, which is from Stamptember of 2021, which was Gina K. And I just went with this nice slim sentiment here because I liked the crispness of that with the design. Okay, I'm going to do, I'm not sure where I'm inserting this into the video. This isn't after the fact, but I want to walk through all the finished sets that I have, just as a little bit of a wrap up, if you will. So I've done 3 this way. Just a little circle, the sentiment stamped in, something very simple. You can do this with any kind of pattern or plain paper for any occasion. Like with this part, you could certainly embellish that more, make it more, but I was really trying to keep these simple and flat, easy for mailing and for giving out. So that's the first part of that set. And then put that there. And then I've got these 3, and these are easy to do. You just line up the stripes. As much of a gap in between or as little. You could butt them right against each other without the white, but I wanted white space to go with the pattern. I thought it would work well. And these are all stamped in varying spots because, you know, you can have fun with it. So that's the first set. And these are really mix and match. As I said, they're for residents where I work, so I'm just going to let them pick whichever ones they want. And then for these ones I use the Master Layouts. This is number 2. Master Layouts 2. So these are the dies with it. It's hard to show, but this has the stitching on it. And then the larger strip for the sentiment. Simple, but cute. Pattern paper does all the heavy lifting on these. Same, this is Master Layouts 4 for here. And these are just cut on my trimmer to go with it. I added a little bit of embellishment on those because there was a fair bit of white space. But very simple. Very fun. And that's all the cards. So in very short order, I was able to pull together 12 cards with just using some nice pattern paper and some basic sentiments and some basic tools for cutting strips and circles, etc. So that's it. And as I said, this is for a hop over on Instagram for my Theme Friday group. And our theme for this week is a set of cards. Ta-da! And that's these. If you haven't already, I would certainly appreciate a thumbs up. I do hope you found some inspiration in this. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe as well. And if you do subscribe, you can also ring the notification bell that'll let you know the next time I'm posting a video. And as I said, I will post links below for anything that I can. My links are affiliate links as I designed for a few different companies. When you shop my links, I do earn a small commission, and I do very much appreciate that, and it helps support my channel. I hope that you had fun. I know I did. I will see you on the next video, and I also hope you have some time to craft. See you again soon. Bye.